But first, Ron Magill, on behalf of the animals, Amin Al Hassan has something for you to start us off.
Ron, you've often said that, if you encounter a bear, you want to make yourself big and say, hey, bear, right?
Most of the time.
Yes. So most of the time is the key part, because I read that that won't work with polar bears. So what do you do if you encounter a polar bear?
Say your last prayers.
You're just fucked.
Wow. Just that's it. There's so a polar bear is eating and that's it. You run, whatever, it's climbing up a tree, or you've got no chance. There's no way that just a weapon helps you. You're not going to win.
Really, a polar bear is truly the only truly carnivorous bear that eats basically meat. And anybody will tell you that it is by far the most dangerous bear. You could scream and holler all you want. There's no chance of running away. It'll catch you. I don't know what else to tell you, but generally speaking, the odds are very much against you with a polar bear.
Wow.
When you get saddened by climate change's ravages, Ron, where does the emaciated polar bear rank, just making you sad having to witness it?
Well, it's obviously the poster animal for climate change, right? They're not able to go out in the ice. But I'll tell you what, I don't think polar bears are going to become extinct. I think what polar bears are probably going to do is they're going to adapt. I think they're going to, instead of saying, listen, I'm really hungry, I can't get out on the ice, I got to look for food elsewhere, they're going to be coming inland. They're going to start challenging things like Kodiak bears for things like elk and some of the big land mammals. And I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing significant crossbreeding between things like polar bears and Kodiak bears. I think these animals are going to adapt. Yes, I think their numbers will be significantly reduced. I think a great number of them will suffer and starve, but I think there will be a certain number of them that will adapt to this climate change, so to speak. If they can't get out on the ice and get seals, they're going to find something else. I mean, at the end of the day, a big elk, a big moose will provide them with the protein they need, maybe not the fat they need in the ratio that they need it, but I think there's going to be an adaptation there. Again, this is not to say, oh, don't worry about it. It's still a horrible situation. But I am very, very hesitant to think polar bears are going to become extinct rather than just adapting and challenging the Kodiak bears on the land.
What is the hybrid called between a polar bear and a Kodiak bear? Because I know between a polar bear and a grizzly, they call them pizzlies.
Oh, no, growlers.
Goliath.
They're growlers, not pizzlies. What are you talking about?
No, pizzly is a real thing.
I know. Growler is what it's called.
No, this is
Look
a
it up.
tomato thing.
No.
Why don't we just ask Ron?
No.
Yeah.
Let's fight.
They come up with different types of names. For instance, like a lion and tiger, one is called a tyon, the other one's called a liger. The tyon is when the male is the tiger and the female is the lion, and the liger is when the male is a backwards, the other way around. So they switch them around that way, depending on which one's the female, which one's the male.
I've got follow-up questions on your evolution here. The Kodiak bear, polar bear fight. How's that one going?
Well, the Kodiak bear is the largest of the land bears. And some will say the Kodiak bear actually gets larger than the polar bear. I think it's a 50-50, buddy. Unless, of course, it's in the water, the polar bear is probably going to have an advantage. But I'm going to go with a 50-50. I mean, a huge Kodiak certainly has the ability to take out a polar bear. That's going to be one of the things where it's, Fraser Ali.
And what kind of spawn monster are you having coming for human heads in the evolution of the Kodiak bear and the polar bear? Because now you're creating an even stronger version of a hunting animal, are you not? Of a predator.
Yeah, but you know what, Dan? Unfortunately, none of those predators can outrun a gun. So as long as humans are out there with the big guns, they'll always have the advantage, unfortunately.
Ron, you are setting up...
Unfortunately.
Ron, you are setting up a fight card for pay-per-view in the Animal Kingdom. It's 3 fights. You have an opener, a middle fight, and a headliner. What are the 3 fights?
Wow, that's a good one, huh? Well, I mean, I guess you're going to have to go with a...
Let me help you out here, though, Ron, just a little bit, in that the opening fight, people are just trickling in. You don't want to give away the goods.
Are we doing weight classes?
I do watch a little bit of sports. And no, we're not doing weight classes because then you got to... No, don't complicate my life here, Mike.
Well, the heavyweights can't be fighting on the undercard.
Okay.
The flyweights are the best
Well,
fights.
if they're shitty heavyweights, they can.
Ron, did you just feel patronized by Dan?
Yeah, a little bit. So here we go. On the opening, I'm going to go with a badger and a wolverine.
All right,
That's
there we go.
stupid.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got our flyweight.
Yeah.
We got
Not
our
bad.
flyweight.
That's not bad.
How long?
Okay.
How will
Pretty
that
good.
fight go?
Yeah.
Noisy fight. Noisy.
That fight's going to be a toss-up. Bro. I'm not giving a fight with obvious odds. I'm giving a fight that you're going to have to watch the whole damn fight. It's not going to go down in one round.
This one's going to the
Okay.
judges.
This is probably going to the judges. I'm thinking this may go to the judges. Badger and a Wolverine. Number 2.
And wait,
Lion.
wait before you go to number 2. Number 3 is going to be horrible to watch. Correct? Nobody's going to actually want to watch that fight. Those fighting
Any
animals.
one of these. But it depends. It depends, Dan. Listen, I think half of those UFC fights are horrible to watch. These guys are pulverizing, blood spattering everywhere, noses on one side of the face. It's just horrific stuff, man. So it depends on what kind of person you are. Some people thrive on that stuff. There are people who are looking for the train wreck. Those people are going to love the Badger and the Wolverine. It's just going to be, it's going to be horrific. Okay. So next,
Number 2.
Tiger and a Lion.
Oh, the classic.
Classic.
Wow.
What's our main event?
Wow.
I'll tell you, the main event is going to be a toss-up, man. I would go with the Kodiak and the polar bear, or the great white shark and the killer whale.
Ooh.
Good
We
luck
know
getting
how
them in a
one's
ring.
going. That one's going well under. Those are super heavyweights. That's not seeing round 2. You haven't seen the Shark Week footage, the drone footage of the killer whales? They'll just eat the liver within 30 seconds.
Yeah, but that's the killer whales. One-on-one, it's a different story.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one-on-one, it's a different story.
Tell
You
us
see?
more. Tell us more, Ron. How does the fight in the epic heavyweight division here as Shark Week? We just celebrated Shark Week. You're telling me the Great White has a chance one-on-one?
I am absolutely telling you a great white has a chance one-on-one. Okay? Not as see, Mike's shaking his head because he doesn't want to believe. But I'm telling you, guys, it's like, if he gets the first punch in, gets the first bite, causes incredible bleeding, he's just as fast as going to be the killer whale.
So you're giving the
killer
Great
whales-
White. You're giving the Great White the puncher's chance.
I'm giving him the puncher's chance. If he gets that first shot in there, that bam, it's
But
over.
is he a big underdog though? Is there because
He is a bit of an underdog. There's no question the great white is a bit of an underdog. But depending on the odds, I might put my money on it. Could be a big payout. Okay, because I think the great white has a chance. And listen, while we're on this Shark Week stuff, I've been doing so many interviews about sharks and shark attacks and all this stuff happening in the Northeast. Let me give you guys some stats so you put things in perspective. Okay, there are over 400 species of shark in the world. Over 80% of those species never get longer than 4 feet long. Keep that in mind. Okay, last year 9 people died from shark attack in the entire planet. 9 people last year. Last year, 100 million sharks were killed by people. Okay, let's keep this all in perspective.
Scoreboard.
We just did a podcast though that is available now with the director of a podcast called Reunion, where the bull sharks were attacking with fatal rates that no one's ever seen, and it seems like the bull shark is angry. Is it possible that that climate differences might be creating ecosystem changes that would make some animals more aggressive than they have been in places where surfers numerically where surfers used to feel safer?
Well, Dan, I'll tell you what's happening. At least with the white sharks up in the Northeast, yes, the water's getting warmer. These sharks are coming more inland. But more importantly, and the thing you have to keep in mind is it's also creating a population explosion of seals and sea lions, which is the white shark's favorite food. And when these guys are going in, if you guys ever been up to a beach in the Northeast, it's not like going to a beach here in Florida. You got these beautiful crystal clear waters. You got murky water. It's cold. It's got seaweed and crap all over the place. These sharks are basically biting out of mistaken identity. You got a surfer in a wetsuit on a board, it can be easily mistaken for a seal or sea lion. These sharks will bite, and more often than not, they let it go. Trust me, Dan, if a white shark wanted to eat a surfer, he'd eat the surfer, and you wouldn't get a surfer walking out of that ocean.
It was
alive.
bull sharks,
Yeah, well,
though.
that happens. So that happens, and the sharks get really territorial. It's a case-by-case basis with these sharks. Sometimes they appear like they really like the human flesh because they finish the whole thing.
It's a case-by-case basis, Mike. But the overwhelming majority of them, you can always point out that one oddity where there is an actual death. Again, Mike, 9 people died last year. 9!
I will not have this strong defense of sharks. We need somebody to come out and come against these monsters, because I know every single last one of yous, if you see a fin in that water, you're getting the hell out, including Ron Magill.
No, not Ron.
No, Ron,
I
you see.
swam with them. I've got pictures swimming with them.
Yeah. You see a bull shark
hammerheads
fin, you
above
see
me.
a tiger shark fin, you see a great white shark fin. Your ass is certainly out there on the dry land.
Well, Mike, you're right. I'm not gonna push my luck.
Oh, I'm not afraid of a dogfish, Ron. I'm afraid of these monsters of the ocean.
Dinosaurs of the sea.
Yeah.
You done now, Mike?
Ron, speaking of sharks, can you talk about the Greenland shark? I read that
Greenland shark, the oldest vertebrate on the face of the planet, man, can live to be over 300 years old. What a phenomenal animal when you think about that.
Ron, I have a follow-up question to the shark debate. Polar bears are amphibious, I assume, right?
Well, they are certainly the most aquatic of the bears.
Okay,
Yes.
is there any circumstance where a polar
I
bear...
can answer your question, Greg. No.
No.
Is there any
They're not an amphibian.
Is there any circumstance where a polar bear versus a shark would actually be an interesting fight?
Not in the water.
What if the polar bear just jumped on it, like did
not
like
on
a
land
flying
either.
elbow, like a flying elbow from a big piece of ice into the water? Right on the
It's
shark.
not
Yeah,
good in the water.
that's what I'm
it's
thinking.
not good on land.
But the flying
either.
elbow like this, Ron.
Is this back to the knife?
Yeah, I
under
was
the
doing a
giraffe
thing.
belly?
Yeah.
Same
Hope
thing.
you hurt
The polar
yourself.
bear can go for the eyes, though.
Like
Hello,
Ric-
Cool
like-
J did.
Can
like
fake
Ric
a heart
Flair.
attack
Fake
and an
it.
eye gouge.
Dirty players, polar bears.
You're like Ric Flair. Whittingham, what do you have for Ron Magill?
Ron, I went down the beach this weekend, and there was an enormous amount of seaweed, and I did some reading on it, and it turns out there is a massive amount of nitrogen in the air as a result of deforestation. I guess my question would be, what are the minor inconveniences of climate change? Yeah, we talk about the notion of our homes flooding here in Miami, but what are the minor inconveniences that will come as a result of climate change?
A lot more mosquitoes due to rain and due to more habitat for these mosquitoes to breed. And that's the inconvenience, that you get bit by mosquitoes. The major inconvenience is a lot of those bites can transfer things like dengue and a wide variety of other diseases that can be fatal. So, you're getting this influx of insects can be a real pain in the butt. Of course, it's humidity, heat, humidity. I mean, how much of us are enjoying being out in the afternoon here in South Florida now? It's just like you can't really enjoy the outdoors like we could have maybe 30 years ago. Those are what I call inconveniences, but they all lead to major problems.
Another dreary note to end this lovely segment that many people have loved for years. Very popular. Listen to it with the kids. The world is ending. The mosquitoes are coming. The polar bears are going to fight the Kodiak bears and create a species of monster that will get more guns in the world. Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Sharks are good, Mark. Mike.
No, that's
No,
not
they're
right.
not.
That's
They're
not.
not.
Sharks are not
They're
good.
not.
Sharks are
Don't
not
boost-
good.
Don't
Come
boost your
on,
metrics
sharks are
with a
not
nurse
Let
good.
me tell you
shark,
something,
too.
brother.
They're not
When you
good.
start having to pay
Come
a
on.
ton of money for seafood because there's not good seafood available to eat because the sharks aren't keeping the population strong and healthy, come back and talk to me.
Joke's
then,
on
get
you.
that right.
I also pay a lot right now for seafood.
You
Way
ain't
too
paying enough.
much.
When you got no sharks, you're going to be out of your price range, brother. You're going to have to get another gig.
Bullshit. I have no price range when it comes to sushi.